"I do not understand," said Sherlock. "I can't do a deuce what is happening." John sighed and ran a hand through his sandy hair. "I can't even understand what they're saying, Sherlock. This has gone on far too long." Sherlock nodded and tightened his scarf a bit. It was silent in the flat for a while as both parties stared each other down, Sherlock's twisted, squinty brown ones into Sherlock's own bright blue ones. "Sherlock, what is happening?" said John. "I don't know," said Sherlock. "I love you, John." "I love you too," said John. "Wow, they really are nothing like us," said Sherlock. "It's fascinating." "Yeah, nothing like us," said John, with a hint of sadness in his voice. Then he reached into the pockets of his jeans and pulled out a gun. "Right, down to business." "What are you future selves?" said Sherlock. No, we aren't," John sighed. "But we touch the skull," said John. "Oh, you guys think that touching the skull makes you travel in time? Of course it doesn't. Why would it do that?" "Well, we thought," said Sherlock. "No, what it does do is make clones." "Clones?" said John. "Yeah, sure. Anyways, every time someone touches a skull, it creates a new clone. Each clone is further separated from the original. You two are the last ones of the batch. I initially discovered your doppelgangers after hearing that I arrested Anderson because he's a douche. While Anderson does have a jerkish nature, I have never arrested him, and after running into the real one, never having been arrested, I assumed that we had clones running around. What I never suspected is that there were also clones of Mycroft, Lestrade, Mrs. Hudson, and even Molly," said Sherlock. "We had to get rid of them eventually, so we hired assassins to kill them off, but more kept coming, and we were having a hard time keeping track. That's when Sammy came in," said John. With those words out stepped something from the shadows. It walked on all fours and carved long scratches in the floor with each swipe of its long, slender hands. From its vaguely human arms, bones screamed out from thinly veiled skin. Its skin! Oh God, its skin! Pale and impossibly smooth, it stretched over each fragile bone and organ like latex over a balloon. A long, thin tongue swathed forward from its mouth and dipped across the floor with a hiss, and from beneath its long hair, two pupilless red eyes glared out. "Meet Sammy," said Sherlock. "She followed you around everywhere and then recorded your every action in an online diary. By reading it, we could figure out where you were at all times." John patted her gently on the head, and Sammy hissed in return. She whispered in a crooked alien voice that chilled like ice. "Hello, boys." John then walked over to the shelf and gripped the skull tight with one definite hand. He glanced over at Sherlock, who nodded in agreement. "No!" said Sherlock. "No!" said John. And then John smashed the skull on the ground. Like a boss.